Welcome to CultureVille, a TV show that shines light on urban culture in Middle Tennessee. We are your hosts, Felicia
and Jazz.
On this episode, we have B.A. the Lewe. B.A. is a multi-talented artist who was born and raised right here in Nashville, Tennessee. He began writing poetry at the tender age of 9. We're going to get to know this storyteller and entertainer.
And on the B side, as BA shows us his art of spoken word, he graces the stage with elevations of words that speak poetically loud. You're watching CultureVille.
B.A., thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you.
No problem at all. I appreciate y'all asking me to be here.
Of course. Now, first, we are all curious about your name. What does B.A. the Lewe represent?
B.A. the Lewe. B.A. is actually my government initials. The Lewe, Afrikaans for life. So B.A. the life, B.A. the poet. So life poet. I was trying to figure out something that would stand out that I figured nobody else was using or having, but at the same time described me as far as who I am. So.
Yeah, well, you definitely hit the nail on the head.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
All right, and you're an artist, so we've all seen Love Jones. That's like one of my favorite movies. So if you can explain to our audience, what is a spoken word artist?
Best definition, I guess, define. I mean, if we're speaking on Love Jones, I mean, that's pretty much, that's it. That's a good example.
A good example.
That's a pretty good example of a spoken word artist. But I mean, it's not necessarily boxed in, so to speak. I mean, I feel anybody willing to share on that level a cappella, that you're sharing your art, your creativity, then, I mean, it's just the art of speaking. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. So that's just spoken word.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I could feel that. So you've started your poetry at 9 years old. And how did you develop such a passion for writing at such a young age?
For me, it was an escape. Okay, you got a lot on your mind. I had no other way to let out, so it was easier to start writing it down. And once that happened, it became like a everyday process, so to speak.
Gotcha. I can understand that.
So it kind of just took off from there.
Yeah, I had to stop since.
Like therapy?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you say that.
So speaking of, what is your creative process?
It's not really necessarily a process. Like when I say, like I'm well known as far as around the city, is also freestyling. I've done a lot of shows to where I don't necessarily come in with a specific poem, so to speak. So I improv too a lot. So honestly, from the time I get up to the time I go to sleep, throughout the day, I probably spit within my head out loud. Who knows how many poems, how many songs, whatever the case may be, whatever comes up. I mean, I feel like each day or everything you do is that. It is poetry. It is music. You know what I mean? There's a rhythm to how you speak, how you move, how you walk. So I just put the words together to it.
Yeah, so you would definitely say it's a vibe for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely a vibe.
There's definitely nothing wrong with that. Now, our producer did inform us that you like to perform without a microphone.
Yeah.
Can you explain why?
I want you to feel me. And then at the same time, I felt like I was restricted. Just standing up here, you know, in front of a mic, everybody else is doing that. And there's people all the way in the back having a whole full side conversation. And you got people all over here having, nah. So I'm gonna let you know I'm performing right now. So that was the thing. So let me walk through the crowd. And
Oh, wow.
when I knew how strong my voice was, after that it was just, all right, let's change the game a little bit. So that's what it became, and it just stuck. I loved it after that. It's a closer interaction. So at that point in time, literally whatever I'm on, we both within it. So it's like we gonna surf this wave together. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that pretty much answers my next question, which is how do you connect with your audience? Well, definitely being out there amongst them and where they feel like they can touch you, that's definitely...
It's most definitely off a vibe, you know what I mean? Like you feel it, like say for instance, if I'm at a show and I know there are other artists that are performing before me and you hear whatever tracks or whatever poetry Dave decided to do and you kind of see how the crowd is vibing to it. So you already got to kind of get a hint of where they're going. So that's why I always love improv too. So now I see, I really weren't prepared for Lil Love Jones tonight.
Right.
You wanted something a little more political. So then you just switch it up. That way we can all, vibe out together.
Well, that's definitely a connection. And I must say, even when I'm in the audience, if somebody is up there performing and they're in the audience, that definitely would hype me up. Because I'm just like, okay, they really...
You're a part of it.
Yeah, they want me to feel this. And like you said, you want your audience to feel you. So I definitely understand. You've definitely built a connection.
Okay. And so would you consider yourself a spoken word artist or just a hip hop artist? Like, how would you put yourself in that slot, or do you even put yourself in a slot?
I look at both of them the same, one and one. They go hand in hand.
Okay.
But of course, the titles, that depends on the listener. I mean, spoken word artist, you add music to it, now you're a hip hop artist.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really no difference in the art form. It's just something else being added on or slightly removed from it and how it's delivered. One may be a slower tempo, the other may be, quicker. So, like I said, it's just depends on the listener. But for me, myself, I personally feel I'm an artist in whole, in both.
Okay, that makes sense. So you're not limited
Nah,
to one thing.
Yeah, please don't limit me.
Because some poets, they just look for things online that say spoken word. They're not going to listen to a hip hop song that has spoken word in it.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
Some people feel like you throw a beat on it, it ruins the vibe.
Yeah.
And, and that's not necessarily always true because you mentioned earlier, it depends on the listener. Sometimes you throw a beat on it and the listener's like, that's it. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's what I need to hear. This song is talking to me, it's resonating with me. We've all been there.
I was like, you just want something to touch your soul. That's
Exactly. Exactly. And with artists like you who love getting out there in the audience, it's even better.
Oh, man. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, because at the end of the day, it's all about the connection. It really is.
Right about that, for sure. I mean, that's the biggest part about it. You just want to connect with your listeners, with your audience, your people. I mean, because obviously that's what you do it for. I mean, at least me personally, it's a passion, it's a love for it. I mean, I don't have to be rich. I don't have to be famous. As long as I can live comfortably off what I love doing and continue to create, I'm great.
So would you say that's your best, the best thing that you like about performing is when you feel, you're looking at your audience and you see that they feel you? Would you say that's the best part of it?
Probably the high you search for. Like, they connected on every line. And you can literally see people leaning in their seats when you own something.
And they're like, wow.
And you control it, And you control the wave. So it's like, for a moment, if you could control the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is it.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Whenever you're ready and feel it.
All right. These are our confessions, partly our lessons. Hard lessons learned as we watch crosses burn, but let's not phase back to the back, because we all had to sit in the back. But see, we ain't even going to relapse and think about that. See, keep it on track. Let me stay on track. Track speed, that is. Run like a figure eight. Ice skating, gymnastics, still flip in, flip out. But see, I didn't bring it here. They brought it here. So everything I learned from Unc and them, I was taught in the kitchen, here's a recipe. The disaster of what it'd be next to me.
how my own culture will be fed this, ingested and injected with deep within your veins. Don't worry, you next to this, because I fell in love with these dead presidents that I even put them on my feet. See, Franklin is all I could see, and it didn't matter who stood in the way. Same color as me, non-color as me, my own brother as me. It didn't matter. Weak. Blaming society by everything that I have seen. But is a society, is it me? Sitting inside a womb, umbilical cord around his neck, the struggle is real. Mother sort of doesn't want you to escape. She doesn't even speak about the pain with emotion, because to live in this life, you don't even understand the notion. I mean, it's hard out here, son, and before I try to raise a king in a place that's ready to kill him in this jungle, you got to understand, Mufasa, Scar don't want nothing from you, and to see Simba grow along without him, just like the next one to do, ain't this the continuous cycle, though? When you gonna stop and go? Everything shuts down. For a second, we all getting low. They said it couldn't be that and it couldn't be this, no reparation for that and no fixing this, no fixing that and no changing this. Look, we gave you enough for this and enough for that, enough change, even though you say it might not be exact. Don't worry about that. I gave you some. I could have gave you none. Of course you can't come in here. We really don't allow your kind. No, these seats aren't for you. Notice that there is a sign, but nowadays these signs aren't really necessarily in black and white, sitting in front of the screen where the mirror can see where help wanted sign used to be. This is where typically states with a frown there's security at the front door that your attire doesn't match our attire, to our attire doesn't even have a sign to say, this is what you're supposed to wear. Because the man at the bar is in a white t-shirt and cut-off jeans. And you just told me I had to have a suit jacket just to join your meal. These are the conversations when you find out these things are real. And when you walk into the front door of a business establishment and you are there to supply them with what they're there to consume, they look at you for these goods and he asks you, my good sir, where's the other guy? Y'all supposed to deliver in the back. Spent my years delivering in the back, hopping on and off a truck, delivering in the back, carrying clothes upon my back, 6 flights of stairs, delivering in the back, all because to see me in the front would be an embarrassment to your establishment, and we live amongst this and justify these situations because, oh, my baby made it now. You old manager position, knowing his hours don't clock in with the weight that he's delivering. I'm saying late nights ain't seen his children. And then when that splits up within his happy home, now fighting and fussing and arguing in this urban society that we live in, and we gonna blame that the conditions was all built on a credit score that she couldn't get in because, listen, you need that degree. Oh, it's heavy when no longer trades are even spoke of. They don't even treat us or teach us, I should say, how to maneuver on our own. When's the last time you seen them with a green thumb plant their own or build a home construction? I mean, even other than that, to welding, keep it well then. But see, while we're throwing pennies in the well, my friend, still wishing ourselves well, my friend, realizing we're not pulling nothing but pale buckets. Ain't that something? The $1 million gift to the world is the dream, is to have it all and lose it in a blink of an eye, all because what you thought you needed to see was everything they made you see. Every meal they force feed it to you while you sit there in that chair. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Not once did you ever say anything in return. But we won't blame society for our own hard lessons, because obviously these are lessons we have yet to learn. Because instead of helping my own brother, I'd rather crush my brother. And rather see my brother rise, I'd rather lower my brother. But say surprised that we are better in numbers. So when we group and supply and come as an army, I guarantee you at this very moment is when everything should change. Eyes wide open. The TV's cut off. No longer Wi-Fi free, hands free. Because see, these hands will be elite, structured, ready. Catch me on this scene, directing. It's a movie. You are just a viewer. These are perceptions. These are our views from urban society.
Our next question is, if you could write a poem for any person, past or present, who would it be?
My father.
Okay.
I say it would be my father, if anybody. You know.
It would be your father. Okay.
That's actually one
that.
I've actually avoided forever. So.
Okay.
So it's safe to say that sometimes you might write poems with someone in mind sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of times anything that I've done is more than likely through experience, or I was there through visual. You know what I mean? Like, I felt it in some type of manner. I seen it. Like, I know this story firsthand, or I've witnessed this, or I've studied this, just depending on what we're traveling at the time.
And like Jazz mentioned earlier, it's like a therapy for you.
Yeah, and, you know what I mean? At the same time, it's therapeutic for the listener. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Definitely.
people, you know, same way you put on that one track every day when you're going through something.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to take you somewhere to get you away from wherever you at the time.
Right.
Exactly.
We all have that one track.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm feeling this way. I'm going to put this on.
Mhm.
I like that. Now, you did mention earlier, if you could write a poem for any person, it would be your father. Can you tell us why your father in particular, if you don't mind elaborating?
My father's deceased. It's been that way since very, very long time. For me, I can say through all my years of writing, that is probably one that I never really just touched on. I've always felt a connection, as if he's, you know what I mean, always been with me, always watching over me, but it's been one of those ones I'm like, am I gonna be able to even finish it once I even start it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is this gonna go? Because normally, even if I'm writing something, I don't necessarily, when writing it, have this emotional connection while doing it, so to speak. I'm just it's almost like my mind is venting, so just let it flow, you know? But with this, it's might touch a little more than I prefer, so to speak. So, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cross that bridge one day. One of these days, I might address it. We'll see how it goes.
Yes. And you're an artist, so it's all about timing. You know,
Oh yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll feel right.
Yeah,
I know.
it's just one of those. I say avoiding. It's not necessarily even in a sense of a bad thing. It's kind of like one of those. You know, every child you would think wants to make their parents proud. So you know, you want to do something to be like, oh, that's my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all you wait for. You know what I'm saying? So just one of those. It's kind of like, even if you happy, I don't feel like I've gotten to where I need to get to yet. And when I get there, that's when we're gonna dress. We're gonna write the piece finally then.
That's going to be a good one.
Yes, that definitely.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a good one. If you mentioned that you were into like Socrates and Greek mythology, but that was at such a young age. How did you even get into stuff that was so
Yeah.
deep and so in
How do you
Curiosity.
choose that over TV and toys?
Exactly.
I was an outside kid at the same time, and then curiosity. And single mother household, my mom, like, you know, without working the way she worked, you know, you got homework or I'm looking up something, it was always, you know what I'm saying, look up more information. So that alone went to everything else. Well, I don't know about this, so I'm gonna look it up. And once I started doing that, I got interested in everything that I was finding. So from there, it just started to glide out. From Robert Frost, Quote the Raven. I want to say, I can't think of what movie it was. That was another poem in, but this is all around this whole time frame. So, like I said, it just became the thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do need you to tell us about this piece that you're going to be performing today for us on the B-side. Can you give us a little, what's going on with that?
Let's see. It's untitled, and it's actually a mix of quite a few other pieces. So even though it's untitled, it's kind of like, for me to know where the note is kept, is called random. So it's pretty much, it's got its own story to it, let's put it that way. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's got its own little twist.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to hear it.
Most
I'm ready to
definitely.
hear that.
Most definitely. Me? Oh, yeah.
You remind me of my grandmother's secret seasoning. Like, just one whiff of you, one taste of you, and I'm in love for no reason. And you remind me of the beginning of summer days. Like, can't nobody wait to get undressed and jump in poolside just to feel that water drip. See, you remind me of everything that I've been missing. Sweet dreams, hot summers, popsicles simmering all over clothes. I mean, cookies downstairs, baking in the oven. I mean, rhythm to the funk of your beat, the way you speak that just drives me wild. I'm just talking mental stimulation. See, you remind me of everything that I've been missing, like plenty nights of other nights and Mother Nature blooming through with a breeze that heaven can only speak got me weak in my knees just by the vocals that release. I mean, your tone is impeccable. See that silence that you have, I mean, I felt you before you even walked in the room. My mouth dropped for a second. I like, God, it just spoke to me. This is what an angel's like. Damn, you spread your wings. Beauty is the insight of what it's like just to be in the presence of thee. And that was even before I seen a visual. I'm lost in your visual alone, and just to hear your tone is magnificent. I fantasized about days of living in days of mountaintops and pastures, green breezes, waterfalls where I can hear the gods speaking, ancestors chanting, you next to me. Oh, I mean, yes, you next to me. Because see, I seen this dream as is I seen that I should have seen. And yeah, everything a man could ever want to see. I mean, everything a man could want to be a part of. I speak light words. I see. Got me lost for a second. Shh, poet speak. Drop for a second. Heals me. I mean, down to one knee. I rather please give you a ring. I mean, a life, a dynasty. We can build an empire, you and me. See, be my queen. I be your king, goddess and God. I mean, why not rule this realm universal to the stars? Why not let me sit at your hem and admire your beauty for hours? Because just the taste of you is just the taste of you. And I questioned how I felt all of this just by walking and watching you move into a room, consumed by your elegance, dazzled by your grace, confidence in your stature, heaven in your weight, eyes that spoke glory and stories. I mean, truly are the window to the soul. So when they ask why I shade mine, it's to hide that pain that had once kept me from one such as thee. Sleeping in these caves, wondering if I ever make it out again. You were the light that awakened me. My soul finally speaks to me. Are you ready now? Are you ready now? She's here. Say, be careful what you ask for. It comes in timing, even when you don't think the timing is right. Because, see, even I would feel that this position is not ready for such a disposition. But considering her position, I just had to take a moment and listen. And as the winds had whispered and I could feel them kiss me, and it told me to go to, I had to go to emotion slowly, like this life here could not be over until you have hold thee so close to your heart that the beats in sync rhythmically. Blues to the night, owl to your green. TKO, give her more Teddy than Pendergrass. Barbie, where's your Womack? I just want that old thing back. Love like in the she Isley, brother, I mean brother me. To Aretha, be my Franklin queen. To queens of queens, I mean Patty, I mean if you got it. More of need, I speak. She's everything. She's music. She's life. She's jazz. On a late Sunday night. The lights. That would be that.
Deep stuff, which obviously led you down this path of your multi-talent. So, spoken word. Also, we know that you're a hip-hop artist. And you're here in Nashville, the Music City, of course.
Best place to be.
Of course.
Do it all. Love spoken word, poetry, hip hop, MC, host, podcast, whatever. I mean, I pretty much entertainment itself. I want my hands in it. So it's just the love for the artist. So.
How do you feel Nashville hip hop has changed over the years, being that you are involved in the hip hop world?
Like all things, I'll say that, it's changed with the times as far as in the culture over the years, how things have gone. I can say that there's a lot more happening underground, so to speak, that's not necessarily spoken about or about, but I can say that there's a huge scene that's waiting, to creep out. So that I can assure you is happening more than likely this year, possibly. But I feel like you have more individuals that are trying to connect now, utilizing their own networks within each other, instead of, the going against each other or I'm up next type ordeal. So, I mean, once we put ego to a side, I feel like the hip hop scene itself here changed. in a major way to actually get noticed like it should. There's plenty of talent in the city, and I mean, plenty of talent. You know, so.
They don't call it Music City for nothing.
Yeah, you're right about that. Most definitely right about that.
Yes, so you would say that now it's kind of more of collaborations.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed like, you know what I mean, different areas, different people getting together, and then the more these people link up, you start to realize like, oh, you know them as well. So you know what I'm saying. Once you start to see that everything you needed has been sitting in the room right beside you, it kind of changes the dynamics of everything.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I
move
mean?
different, huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's why I say things are happening.
Yeah.
Quiet is kept, things are happening most definitely. So I'm just excited to see the way the city takes it, because honestly, I feel they've been waiting for it. So.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, I've definitely been
We
waiting.
need that scene.
Oh,
So tell us, what's next for B.A. DeLu?
oh wow, a lot's going on at one time. I actually have a show coming up this coming up week, City Winery. That another one the following week after that. Then supposed to be working with some guys checking in Chicago. So it's a lot of offers, a lot of things are happening. So it's most definitely staying busy, waiting to drop a couple projects that I do have planned to drop before August. So it's like a small sample of an EP, so to speak. I'm just doing it a little differently this time. So.
Good, booked and busy.
Exactly, there's nothing wrong with that. So tell us, where can people find you for more information?
Oh wow. Like I said, my Facebook fan page, BA space the space Lewe, Lewe. BA the Lewe. Find me on Instagram, one word. BA the Lewe on Twitter, one word. Also www.reverbnation.com/BA the Lewe. You can also find tracks and music there, as well as simply Google me, and I'm pretty sure you can find YouTube videos and clips as well.
Well, B.A., this has been an amazing conversation.
Appreciate it.
And again,
appreciate it.
thank you so much for gracing us with your presence here on CultureVille.
It was an honor.
Yes, you have definitely took us into the side of storytelling and entertainment, and we really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.